You would join me for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Karn's from the EDC, so
Oh,
Thanks for coming.
great.
Yes.
Good.
to meet you.
yeah.
I'm so glad to meet you too. That's wonderful. Let me look at my agenda.
Public hearing.
Well, I will open up the comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements, public hearing. And we
Got
have
anything?
one person.
I thought you would have more attendees today.
Yes, we did too.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to find the agenda just to make sure I don't have anything more to look at. Do we have any comments?
Just
No?
We could
How about you,
discuss
Scott?
nothing for the public hearing. Discuss this is the first I saw the survey results.
That's because I just finished them
No, I know.
about 20 minutes
It'd be
ago.
nice to maybe have a brief discussion on that in the open meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for creating these results. This is going to be really wonderful to share with everybody. The last survey that was done, we kind of hand-did everything. So we didn't really, we just had a minimal document to put it together. So this has been really well done, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Larry.
Well, if we have no comments, you can close the public hearing and we can get on to the regular agenda.
Okay.
here.
Hearing none, we will close the public hearing. Now we can open it for discussion. It's interesting reading about the survey. Be interesting to, will these be ready for online? Or you're going to try to put these online at all? After we're all done?
I'll put this document online, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it until you approve the plan.
Yes.
My comment on the survey is, before we do the next one, could you vet it through the board and just make sure that we've had a chance to look at it? I did get some public comment on the quality of the survey, maybe, for lack of a
Okay.
better term.
Yeah, there were a few negatives. Changing Allen days.
Well, there was a lot of the comments, like I said in there, that I think it more than most people don't understand what the board can do and what they can't do.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that it's a little window into people's thinking.
Yep.
And I'm glad that you put that these aren't ranked, because that was another complaint I got was, how come this is above that? And then once I explained that they're not necessarily ranked, they're just projects that are currently in process, on the table for future consideration. And
And
I like
that's
that
why
you
it's
did that.
separated
Yeah.
out to 3 that are in process.
And there are ones that we're kind of, either not necessarily obligated to, but we've made a commitment of some sort towards it, and they're on here, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, like one of them, the last one says get rid of the oyster house.
Right, well, I mean,
Well, kind of late now. Put a lot of time and effort in there. We'd have a few upset people.
Something that I thought about when I'm looking through the comments, though, the decision about recreation, I think, is reflected in the public's comments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
somebody wants a rope course and a zip line.
I was just curious, I mean, as far as, we do get quite a bit of comment about the sports park. What was the general feeling in the survey?
Well, when you look through the results, 51 people felt that was something we should do. 49 people felt we should partner for the trail project with the Salmon Center, the Discovery Trail. And then came the industrial park. So, and then the shooting range, which actually came in higher than Sweetwater Park.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised
But
about that.
Yeah, I was too, actually. But there's just no way that we could do that because we're going to have to acquire a bunch of land to do it, and we don't have the money to acquire a lot of land at this point in time.
Well, I thought DNR was going to work on the shooting range up in the state forest, and I haven't heard any updates from them.
I haven't either. The last I heard was about a year ago, and
Right.
it was like, yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the last I heard. But what we envisioned was a competitive shooing range to where, it's in a bowl so the bullets can't leave and something like that. The nearest one's in Bend, Oregon, and it makes money hand over fist with competitive,
And there was
events.
there's a new indoor shooting range in Olympia.
Yeah.
And
There's a new one in Tacoma too.
he is a person I'm acquainted with, and he's got a contract with the Port of Olympia. He's the operations person. He does the fueling and he's like airport operations contractor. Fueling, de-icing. He's got a flight school there. So he opened one. If we ever get serious about it, want to go visit it, we can certainly set that up. I mean, I showed you the pictures of
Right.
it. It's got leather furniture, and
Right.
it looks like a executive boardroom when you walk in.
It's
And
like-
then
yeah.
inside, didn't look like
Private
he's got
club.
a lot of. It is a private club. It's members only, and they actually do background checks on their members to make sure that they can legally own a gun.
They have a cigar room too. Yeah.
I would not be surprised, because the other thing that him and his brother own is a liquor store, but a high-end liquor store. Yes.
I remember you showing me that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see it just because I'd like to go see him and see what he's got going on. But
I can tell you one thing about DNR. They've allowed an area where you can shoot. It's off of Herd Road.
Mhm.
I'm sure you all heard
towards the
about
river,
that.
the riverside of Herd Road,
Yes.
people have had concerns that they might cross the river into the households over there.
Right. Well, so far, I went to a DNR meeting, as you know, and they're actually keeping it clean. All the people who are using it are keeping it clean, so,
Well, that's good.
yeah. And they said as soon as you mess it up, the DNR will shut it down, so. Anyway, that's something.
Well, I'd like to go visit that one in Bend the next time I'm
Yeah.
down there. And I think the Auto Riders group is gonna, when we do Run to the Sun, we're gonna do that basic same route we did this year. And if they overnight in Bend, I'm gonna make it a point to go find that place.
Oh,
Because
that'd
I
be
wanna
good.
look at it. And if I get to Bend in the meantime for something else, I'll do it. But, I don't want to make a special trip down there and, have the port pay for that.
Sure.
Speaking of the Auto Riders group, though, we're doing Mudfest here again.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Karn.
I heard that.
Okay.
Wasn't that, when is that? I don't mean to interrupt. We can talk later.
Okay.
I want to go.
Okay.
Well, in the survey questions, I guess maybe just for the record, we can kind of highlight a few things and then
Yeah.
vote on this and
Okay.
then move forward.
That's what I was thinking. maybe at some point we could address some of the things that were said in here that are addressable. I mean,
Yeah,
things like getting a Target, Fred Meyer, or Walmart is maybe not something that we can do, but through the help of EDC, county planning, we can try to recruit such box stores. But there are things that are really in our charter in here that we could address.
What I thought was interesting was the event center at the park here to host year-round events and venues, and such as weddings, which we do. But would we want to either enclose the gazebo and have it be an indoor thing, or build another building just for that?
I would say another building. I mean, there's probably grant money out there that could help with it.
Well, I was thinking the same thing.
And if you look at the building they built at Belfair State Park, it's not heated, but I think what we build we could heat, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's a log outdoor picnic area with tables and a sink and something like that. Something to where you could have your reception in a building, or you could have a birthday party, or have.
Well, they have them in
something.
here, and we rent this.
Yeah,
when they do.
I mean, yeah,
But anyway, I thought that was an interesting thought.
yeah.
on question 3, which was funding for projects is often the key to which projects get done and which ones don't. How should the port fund each of your priority projects? And the most was, the most was apply for grants, require up to 25 to 50% funding match. Some required 100%. 19 people went for that. Industrial development, there were 9 people that went for that. A levy lift, 4 people went for that. Combination of the above, 24 went for that. So at least they're seeing that there's all those options. But yeah, levy lift was the least popular.
As we would have expected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this looks great, Larry. Thank you for doing
Yeah.
that.
Interesting thing on the port being involved with the Salmon Center of the trail from Belfair State Park to connect to Feller. Do you support it? 49 said yes, 16 said no. Building a skateboard park in Beards Cove, 29 said yes, 43 said no.
That's the biggest negative one that we
Yeah.
had, and comments were negative towards that as well.
Okay. Thus, it's pulled off of our comp plan.
You have any words to say there?
No, I just, some of the comments I heard, I mean, the trail system, I do have some concerns about that. One, just maintaining the trail, policing the trail, working in a city that has about 75 miles of trails, I know how much time we have to dedicate towards that. Even if you were to just like, we're having a half marathon here in 2 weeks, it takes a lot of effort to make sure everything's secure, parking and trail maintenance and police, fire. So that's one of my concerns about that, is that if we do go forward like that, I'd like to see an emergency plan. Who's going to patrol it? Are we going to do it all on volunteers? And we have ATVs that we have to run out there and do that stuff with. You're looking at a 10-mile stretch of trail, that's a lot.
I know it is.
So, and that's some of the comments I heard about that. The one thing I did hear quite a bit about was the extending of the boat ramp and dock in Allyn. We're getting a lot more boaters that just even come in for half a day. You can see them with their families tie up and then run over to Big Bubba's, and then they're gone. And I have heard they would like that facility, keep it like that a little bit nicer. So as much as we can do there to improve that, especially Allyn Days, that place gets packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
A lot of people that volunteer for Allyn Days bring their boats in. So. But, other than that, I think it looks good. So.
Yeah, I don't have any more comments, and just what I was reading is just mostly for the, sake of everybody to
I wouldn't make a comment,
understand.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I wouldn't
ahead.
make a comment on, I've always viewed Allyn Days as more of a family event, and I've never felt participating in Allyn Days, the beer garden, took precedence over any other activities there. So I always thought the people that put that event together do an outstanding job to make it for families.
I agree.
Who does the beer garden? Is that the chamber?
The ACA.
No, yeah,
the
ACA does, yeah.
Yeah, I went to the ACA meeting last month, and that was the big talk of it, that and what to do with the North Bay Review, but
Oh, yeah.
they're already on Allyn Days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that pretty much all year. What about the North Bay Review? Because I know Joyce left, but she did quite a bit.
Yeah, she did it all.
Oh, so what are they going to do?
They've split it up among some different people. They have a younger editor now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to try to have more family-oriented stuff because of more families moving into Lakeland. And I think you'll just see a different focus of it. I have reservations about whether they can actually do the physical production of it.
Hmm.
You know, I don't think you can sit somebody down and say, okay, here it is, there's your computer, go for it. It doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
but they seem to think they have it under control, so if they
So
do,
they'll
they do.
continue.
And Joyce is going to be there for a couple issues to help them, so.
Oh, good.
Is she gone?
Yeah, she's moving.
Yeah,
Thought
she's
I-
moving to Ohio or
I
Indiana
thought I
or
saw her, like,
someplace in the
maybe
Midwest
yesterday.
there. You know,
She hasn't
back where
left
her
yet.
family is.
Well,
Any more
no other comments.
comments on the survey?
Ready. So this is our comp plan for 2018 through 2020.
Correct. So anyway, the survey results will be online eventually. And the, oops, I've got to get the new comp plan.
Where's the resolution?
Does anybody have any questions on the comp plan? Other commissioners?
No, I don't.
I would like to make a motion.
Well, I think this resolution will
We just have
cover
to approve
that.
the resolution.
This is Resolution 392. Would you like to read this, Ted?
Sure. Resolution 392, Port of Allen, Washington. Be it resolved by the Commissioners of the Port of Allen as follows. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Port of Allen have met, and after 6 public hearings, and after reviewing results of an online survey and all written input from residents of the Port District, have considered the proposed update to its comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners, after duly considering all relevant evidence and public testimony presented, hereby resolves to adopt the 2018 update to its comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements, adopted this the 12th day of February 2018.
So do I hear a motion?
I would move to adopt resolution number 392.
And I second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. It's done. Thank you, Larry, for the nice
Yeah,
job.
thanks, Larry.
Yeah, okay.
That's great. So you want to go ahead and sign and...
Yeah.
Got it. Where's our public? Here's our public. I'm glad you made it up here. Thank you.
I meant to be here on the 22nd, but I was moving, and that was my day of help. So, kind of,
Yeah, that's pretty
if you
important.
have the help, you go with it. But Jennifer and I both plan to be here more often.
Good.
Could you give an update on the hiring of the executive director for the EDC?
We had one candidate come last week. The board decided against offering the position to that individual. We have some meetings coming up that I believe we're starting the process over.
Wow.
There's
So we'll see.
potentially an interim that's come up that,
Yeah, for the time being, I'm not sure, the hiring committee is meeting about that, next week. So we'll see what they decide, but to have somebody in place, as an interim to help get us going, so we're not just in a standstill would be great.
right,
Yeah, this individual, has plenty of experience, background, everything, that we're looking for. He's retired, so it's just going to be a part-time, interim basis.
Good.
And wish us luck as we start over.
Wow.
one of the things that came up was that it's such a competitive workforce right now that you put a posting out and you sit on applications for a month and then you invite people in, well, the people have been hired by then, so
Yeah.
almost like taking applications unsolicited. I mean, they are solicited, but if you get somebody that's good, let's maybe act on it right away rather than sitting on it and waiting for the next best person to come along. So
Yeah.
it might be a
exactly.
trend in the employment nationwide that just taking applications for a month may not be as good an idea as it used to be, because,
Yeah.
I mean, there was people that were interviewed and hired before we were even ready to offer a position.
Mhm.
They moved
Right.
on to other jobs well
Right.
before that, so. We
I
were,
went
we were
to
from
the-
3 to 1, and, one just wasn't
Mhm.
it.
I went to the WPPA Legislative Committee meeting on Friday, and when they got to the good of the order part, I brought up the fact that the EDC was looking
Oh,
for somebody in
thanks.
case any of them knew of anyone that might be a suitable candidate. So,
Well, good.
it wouldn't hurt to throw it out there, and if you want, I can ask Eric if they'll post it online.
Oh, yeah.
Because they
Probably
do have
ask
an
them,
employment.
Very relative experience, I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do have an employment opportunity section on their website.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
And we were even, there's executive search companies out there, and I could bring that up in a board meeting, but, is it something that people that have full-time jobs are able to do the executive search that needs to be done?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and some of the agencies or headhunters that do that, it's just something like that's not in our budget.
Yeah.
Puts us in a tough spot, but we just need to act faster.
Sure,
As you
yeah.
said, yeah, it's just, you can't.
Do you meet every week, don't you?
Once a month.
Once a month.
Or-
That does
yeah,
make it hard.
Our board meetings.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they
then-
do call, they have a hiring, a search
There's
committee.
committees.
Okay,
And
so
they're
you can meet.
meeting, as needed,
Mhm.
once every 2 weeks right now, but.
And the board has special meetings. I mean, last week we went down there and did a interview of the candidate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kitsap Building Association hired a search company, a local company with offices in Gig Harbor and Paulsboro, and they got an excellent candidate for the new executive officer there.
Oh, good.
So, and I know that they didn't charge them anywhere near what some of those, big time,
Yeah.
like Prothman and those guys
And
got.
that's the one I think of is what their cost is. I have no idea.
I think they're about $20,000.
That's a lot.
It is.
Wow.
Well, I think, I don't know for a fact, I just heard through the grapevine, but I think they paid around $5.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's in your budget or not, but might be worth talking to.
Yeah.
And the owner of the company is past president of the Kitsap EDC,
Okay.
Oh, well, that'd be perfect then.
so
Probably
she knows
connect them
what
then, yeah.
kind of person you need. And she was on the committee that hired the current director
Wow.
of the Kitsap EDC. I was on that committee as well.
Great. Well, anything else for the good of the order?
None?
Ted?
None? No?
None?
Good.
I guess we're done then, so do I hear
Move to adjourn.
In a second?
Second, all in favor, aye. Well, thank you.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being